Okay, we'll go ahead and call this meeting to order. Kodiak Island Borough Planning and Zoning Commission regular meeting of Wednesday, February 19th. It is 6:30 p.m. and we are in Borough Assembly Chambers. Can everybody please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance? Madam Clerk, could I get a roll call, please?
Ms. Fraser,
Here.
Mr. Neff,
Here.
Mr. Dagan,
Present.
Ms. Craig,
Here.
Ms. Williamson,
Here.
Mr. Cleary,
Here.
Mr. Mangini. You have a quorum.
Thank you. Next item is approval of the agenda. Could I get a motion for approval, please?
I move to approve the agenda.
I second.
Any discussion on the agenda as presented before we vote? Okay, hearing none. All in favor of approval of the agenda as presented, say aye.
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 Opposed, same sign. Hearing none, agenda is approved. We'll move on to approval of the minutes from November 20th, 2024. Entertain a motion to approve the minutes.
I make a motion to approve the minutes as they are.
I second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. Any discussion on the minutes before us from the November 20th regular meeting? Okay, hearing none. All in favor of approving the minutes, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, same sign. Hearing none. Minutes of November 20th, 2024 meeting are approved. Next, we have citizens' comments. Comments are limited to 3 minutes per speaker. Please come up, sign in, and state your name for the record. If you're listening on the phone and would like to call in, pardon me, the local number is 907-486-3231. The toll-free number is 855-492-9202. Please make sure that your comments address the board as a whole. Thank you.
Hello, my name is Sandra West. Hello, Planning and Zoning. I don't know how this works, so I'm just going to throw out stuff that I don't know what I'm talking about. I just would like to encourage the city to make, and the borough, to make our communities a little more walkable, right? Just throwing it out there for us all to think about. How can we make pathways, sidewalks, space? I think of some of the latest developments and, cul-de-sac where the kids are riding in the street. It's nice that it's a cul-de-sac. But if we had sidewalks, kids can ride their bikes and run, and you could push strollers on sidewalks. Pathways are cheaper. I get it. I know money is, and yet if I walk from downtown to the library, I run out of sidewalk. It's just one of those things. So I don't know what the solution is. I'm just going to say I'd like to encourage us all to make it more walkable when we can. And some of that starts with planning and zoning, so thank you.
Thank you, Sandra. Do we have anybody on the phone? No calls? Okay. Then we'll go ahead and close citizens' comments. We don't have any items for public hearing this evening, and we do not have any old business. We have 2 items under new business. So for new business, item A, we have Planning and Zoning Commission election. Chris, did you have a staff report you wanted to give for that?
I don't have a staff report for that.
That's fine. I didn't think so. I just thought I'd give you an opportunity. Okay. So we talked about this at the work session last week. We elect a chair and a vice chair annually. usually at the first regular meeting of the year. The chair obviously chairs the meetings, and then the vice chair acts in the absence of the chair, or if the chair is otherwise unable to perform their duties in the meeting. So without further ado, are there any nominations for chair for this year?
Yes, I nominate you, Sarah, for chair.
Okay, I would accept that nomination. Are there any additional nominations for chair? Nope. Okay. Then, Madam Secretary, could I get a roll call vote for chair, please?
Ms. Fraser,
Yes.
Mr. Neff,
Yes.
Mr. Diggin,
Yes.
Ms. Craig,
Yes.
Ms. Williamson,
Yes.
Mr. Cleary.
Yes.
Motion passes 6-0.
Okay, thank you, Madam Chair. We'll do the same thing for vice chair. So would anybody like to make a nomination for vice chair?
I nominate Court Neff for vice chair.
Okay. Court, would you accept that nomination? Okay. All right, then can we get a roll call vote for Court Neff as vice chair?
Ms. Fraser,
Yes.
Mr. Neff,
Yes.
Mr. Diggin,
Yes.
Ms. Craig,
Yes.
Ms. Williamson,
Yes.
Mr. Cleary.
Yes.
Would anyone like to change their vote? Motion passes 6-0.
Thank you. Okay, that moves us down to new business item B, which is the appointment of Planning and Zoning Commission representatives to the Parks and Recreation Committee and the Borough Lands Committee. As we discussed at the work session last week, we have one Parks and Recreation representative who is an ex officio member of that committee, and then for the Lands Committee, we have two representatives from Planning and Zoning Commission, one from the borough, one from the city, who are both voting members of those committees. Did you have anything you wanted to say about that, Chris?
So I would just, also for the Parks and Recreation Committee, there's one, as you mentioned, one ex officio member of the commission is an ex officio member of that committee, but we also have a standby or
An alternate.
an alternate for them as well. And I would say there is a vacancy for that alternate position on the Parks and Rec Commission.
So for both of these boards, the representatives get appointed annually. So this evening, we would reappoint Court and then appoint someone to the alternate position. Am I understanding that correctly?
So this is a little, I mean, usually that's how we would go. Now, I will say on the agenda, which just happens to be this way on the agenda, I believe tomorrow night, isn't it for the tomorrow night for the assembly? Isn't there's the membership for the Lands Committee from the commission are both listed to be on there to be appointed? by
The Lands
assembly.
Committee, yes. The Lands Committee appointments, your recommendations to the Lands Committee will be appointed tomorrow night at the regular meeting. It's a requirement of the code. However, for the Parks and Rec, we don't need to put those on the assembly agenda. Whoever you recommends to the Parks and Rec will be automatically assigned to Parks and Rec.
Perfect.
Thank you.
Okay, well, last week at our work session, Court did confirm that he would be willing to be the planning and zoning representative again. So unless there's any dissent, I would like to nominate Court for that position. Yeah, sorry, yeah, Parks and Rec. Okay, is that a roll call vote then, on that one too? Yeah. could
I
we-
second that.
Perfect, thanks.
And then you can either do a voice vote or a roll call vote, whatever you're comfortable with.
Ooh, yeah. Voice votes are way better. All in favor of Court representing our board on the Parks and Recreation Committee, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay. Court is our Parks and Rec representative. Is there anybody that is interested in being the alternate in the event that Court is unable to make the Parks and Recreation meetings. I don't personally think I have too much extra time for more boards and committees. Does Nick want to do it? He has to accept the nomination, correct? No nomination. I didn't know if Nick Mangini needed to be present to accept a nomination.
If you wish, Madam Chair, we can postpone that, the alternate for nomination at a later meeting. You don't have to do it.
Okay.
Thank you.
Madam Chair, I would suggest we postpone that particular part for the alternate and let the primary go forward.
Okay. To our next regular meeting.
We'd have to do it at the next regular. It couldn't be at a work session, correct? So, yes.
Is there a second?
I'll second.
Okay, motion second. Can I do this one by voice vote too? Okay. All in favor of postponement to selecting our alternative to the Parks and Recreation Committee to our next regular meeting, say aye.
Aye.
Anybody opposed? Nope, hearing none. Okay, we'll put that on our next regular meeting agenda. That brings us to our Lands Committee representatives. Tracy and I are currently the borough and city representatives respectively, and per our conversations that we had at our work session last week, are both still willing and ready to represent P&Z on that board. Did anybody have any additional nominations that they would like to make for either of those positions? Nope. Okay. So I guess all in favor then of Tracy and I maintaining our representative seats on the, need a motion, sorry.
I make a motion that we
Take
accept you and Ms. Gregg for those positions.
I second.
Okay, now that we have a motion and a second, all in favor of Tracy and I maintaining our representation on the Borough Lands Committee, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, motion passes. Sorry, I forgot my iPad tonight, so I'm looking at my phone here.
Did you want to borrow the iPad?
No. It's a good short meeting. Okay, so that moves us down to planning and zoning case result letters, which we do not have any. So we'll go down to abbreviated and final plat approvals. We had the final plat approval for subdivision case 23-011. Chris, did you have anything you wanted to say on that letter before we moved on?
Other than it met the requirements of the code for final plats and the preliminary plat approval that was granted by the commission.
Okay, perfect, thank you. Any questions from anybody? No, okay. We'll move on to director's comments then.
And I'll try to make these short, so we're not staying here too long. Couple things. Hazard mitigation plan update is scheduled for work session for the Assembly on February 27th and for the regular meeting on March 6th for the review of that resolution. Once the Assembly has acted on that resolution, the plan will be transmitted to the cities within the borough and also to the state of Alaska for their review. In addition, there has been a restructure of the Community Development Office. Just kind of give you, and that's still somewhat in the works because we still have one staff person position to fill. Bronwyn Curry has been promoted to the Assistant Planner position, and James Dixon has been promoted to the Associate Planner Enforcement position. And then we still have a Secretary position open. That position will be the parliamentarian. Once hired, will be the parliamentarian for the commission, so that position the commission will know pretty well in the future once it's filled. In March, we'll be starting work more on the comprehensive plan, and so I'll have some more information to the commission here for the regular meeting and work session in March about that. And I wanted to welcome Commissioner Cleary to the Planning Commission, and I'll welcome Commissioner Mangini when he's at our next meeting, hopefully. So if any questions, I'll be happy to answer those.
Any questions for Mr. French? Man, cruising right along tonight. Okay, then we're back to citizens' comments. Comments are limited to 3 minutes per speaker. We ask that you come sign in and state your name for the record. If you're listening online and would like to call in, our local number is 907-486-3231. Our toll-free number is 855-492-9202. Please make sure that your comments address the board as a whole. Nobody calling in yet? Okay. Okay, seeing and hearing no citizens' comments, we will move on to commissioners' comments. Is it okay if I start with you, Athenas?
Sure.
Thanks.
Well, another short meeting, again. It's been fun, entertaining, and excited for the next one. Thank you.
Okay, Ms. Craig?
Thanks, everybody, for being here, and I look forward to the next meeting also. So, bye.
Yes. First and foremost, thank you to our staff who have taken such good care of us and continue to help guide us accordingly. Regarding our trails and pathways, I definitely appreciate the citizen comment that occurred from our member of the Trails Network. It is important for us to preserve our walking pathways, and I would also say that there is a chance for us to use them in an emergency management capacity for evacuation of the downtown area. So if we look to that as a solution set, we are able to enhance our quality of life here in this community by safely helping people to evacuate the downtown area when an alarm or an actual tsunami or earthquake happens in this city. Beyond that, privileged and honored to serve yet another year, and I look forward to the journey ahead with each of you and wish you good luck on this journey. Thank you.
I just want to say I also appreciate Sandra taking the time to come and make a comment. It was well noted. It was a good point. Thank you.
Yeah, I also agree. Ms. West, thank you for coming. And I have little ones and middle-aged and high schoolers, and I can definitely relate to not having the nicest inclement weather or nice Kodiak weather, which hopefully we have plenty of that this summer to come. Understand your concern and definitely thank you for bringing that to our attention.
Okay, I'll echo that one more time. It's great input, and I think it comes at a good time in that, we're working on the comprehensive plan, so I think community input is super valuable. And then the only other thing that I will throw in is that for anybody that is interested, Comfish is happening April 15th through 17th here in Kodiak. There's 15 or 16, I think, new vendors that weren't here last year, so if what's going on in the fishing industry is important to you, feel free to register for that. Should be a really good event. That's all I've got, so I'll go ahead and move on to general announcements. Oh, of course.
I just wanted to tell the clerk staff that we really appreciate that they have stepped in while Bronwyn is out on vacation. Thank you for doing that. Otherwise, we'd be in a world of hurt. Thank you.
We do have an amazing clerk staff. Okay, so our next work session is scheduled for Wednesday, March 12th. It will be at 6:30 p.m. here in Assembly Chambers. And that will be followed the next week with our regular meeting, March 19th, also at 6:30 p.m. here in Borough Assembly Chambers. With that, I would love to entertain a motion to adjourn.
I motion to adjourn this meeting.
I'll second that motion.
Okay, we've got a motion and a second. All in favor of adjournment, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, same sign. All right, we are adjourned at 6:50 p.m. Thank you.